Well, howdy. No, I can't say that. Welcome to the beer review of me, Jake. So today we're looking at a beer from BEAK. It is their Jurgen Imperial Stout, coming in at 12%. I believe it's only the second Imperial Stout that BEAK have done. I think their first was Oopla. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I would have seen it if they'd done another one. My beady eyes. On the back here it says, this opulent Imperial Stout was brewed with a combination of roasted chocolate and crystal malts before being aged over a profuse amount of the highest grade cacao nibs we could lay our hands on. We're getting white oak and espresso on the nose, followed by flavours of bourbon, brownies and salted chocolate pretzels. So yes, the ingredients are malted barley, oats, hops, cacao nibs, yeast and salt. So there we go, a little bit of salt in there, like that. So the backstory behind this beer and why it's called Jurgen, it's actually named after a contestant on the Great British Bake Off who actually used a can of BEAK's Oopla Imperial Stout in something that he was making. I can't quite remember what it was he was making. Was it like brownies or something like that? And he was seen sort of tipping a can of BEAK Oopla in there, which is just crazy, really. And then they sort of named this in his honour. I think they've had him down to the brewery and all that sort of good stuff. So it's a bit of fun and a great sort of a great bit of marketing for BEAK, really. Yes, I'm very excited for this one. My lovely wife treated me to this can for Valentine's Day, which is lovely. The best way to show me love is to buy me beer. So let's crack into it, shall we? I'm hoping for good things. Let's give this a nice pour then. So beverage in the glass, we have a, oopsie, run down side one, spill that. So it's absolutely jet black, no light getting through there whatsoever. A really, really dark head, seems to be sticking around. It's pungent coming out of the glass, this one. Let's give it a little swirl and a sniff, shall we? This isn't no pastry stout craziness. This is grown up. This is grown up flavours. There's treacle, sort of like a bit of burnt sugar as well. Intense roasty coffee. A little bit of a smoky ashiness to it. Feel like the sort of dying embers of a fire. Yeah, touch of raisin in there. Sort of cherries that have been like soaked in alcohol is the best way I can describe it. Like rum soaked cherries, if that's a thing. As I've sniffed it and it's opened up a little bit, I'm getting a little bit more of sort of jammy, sort of stewed fruits. Yeah, and a whack of dark chocolate. Well, that smells intense and interesting. And I just want to dive in for a sip. Let's go for it. Cheers. Whoa. Not the thickest Imperial Stout I've ever had, but in no means thin. The first sip, I got that sort of, that stewed fruit quality again. A little hint of acidity on the back end. Yeah, roasty coffee. Incredibly dark chocolate. I mean, once from Hotel Chocolat, I got my wife some 100% like hot chocolate powder. And that was just so intense. It was almost sort of like you sort of took a sip and it sort of just dried your mouth out. And this doesn't have that sort of really severe drying effect, but it's given me that sort of really intense chocolatey vibes. Yeah, if you let it sort of linger for a little bit, that's when you sort of pick up that little hint of salt in there. If it wasn't for the fact that it says that it's got salt in it on the back there, I would have just taken that just to be a little bit of a savoury twang that you're getting from the malt or something like that. But you are definitely picking that up on the back end. It's an incredibly interesting beer. So that sort of acidic fruit I got on the front, then it tails off into that sweeter, even though it's still intense, sort of dark chocolate thing, and then rounded out with that little bit of that little savoury edge, and then you want to dive back in for another sip and go round again. But I mean, it's ludicrous stick to your rib stuff, a little bit of a burning sensation. It is 12% after all. It's a strong old boy. Even got something a little bit peppery then, which is crazy. burnt sugar, treacle. God, I could go on. I could go on. I mean, I hope people don't go into this thinking they're going to get some sort of like weird pastry stout because it's got cocoa nibs in it. And all that sort of stuff. And it's got like a big old pretzel on the front and all that. Because it's really not that. It's a grown-up, big old stout. And it's absolutely delicious and incredibly interesting as well. Very, very interesting. Yeah, so like I said, I'd highly recommend picking that one up. So that was BEAK's nightmare. So it looks like we filled the memory up on the phone. But not to worry, because we had most of the review all out of the way. So it was just the housekeeping duties at the end there. So highly recommend that from BEAK. It was their Jurgen Imperial Stout. Pick it up if you see it. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comments below. I'd love to know. Love to know your thoughts on BEAK in general. But that has been everything from me. I've been Jake. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.